What's going on, everyone? Talen here with Talen Collects Figures, and today we're going to be looking at this Chucky figure by Kotobukiya. So I just finally got my hands on this figure here. This is one of the few that I'm missing for the Kotobukiya's horror line or horror Bishoujo line. So I'm just missing Edward Scissorhands now out of the ones that I actually want. There's two that I'm missing besides him that I'm just not really too fussed about getting, which are the Leatherface and the Bride of Chucky, so the Tiffany figure. So I'm not too fussed about those two, so I can, live without those. But in terms of the figures that I want, this was one of the last two of the ones that I want. So I'm very happy to finally pick her up. I finally found her for a decent price because everyone was selling her for like $300+, and that was not really in my price range. Even though I wanted the figure, I wasn't ready to spend that kind of money. So I ended up finding her for $165. I was very happy with that price. That includes the shipping and all of the fees and everything like that. So $165 outright. I got her on my figure collection website. So it was just another collector that was selling her, and very, very good seller. I mean, great communication. They shipped the figure really quickly. It was packed very well, so I'm quite happy with that side of the transaction. But I haven't opened the figure yet. The figure is supposed to be in pretty much like new condition with a few minor blemishes, some paint transfer on like the hand and that kind of thing, so nothing too crazy. So overall the figure should be in really good condition. The box was advertised, as damaged or not the greatest condition, which again, I don't really care too much about the box condition, so I can live with that. As long as the figure looks good, I will be happy. And yeah, she was originally released in 2017, March of 2017, if I remember correctly. So quite an old figure now. They never did a rerun of her like they did for the Jason and the Freddy, so there's been only one edition of her. Well, actually, there was two editions because there is a deluxe edition that comes with a bonus face and a bonus set of hands for her, where I believe she has her fingers crossed or something like that behind her back. This is just the standard edition. So let's go ahead and get her out of here. Oh yeah, and the retail price for her when she first came out was only $69, $70, I believe, something like that. So yeah, quite a bit of a price increase here. So let's get her out and see what the figure looks like. Alright, so there we go. We got her out of the box. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figure here. So here we have Chucky. Very cool. I like the winking face here. The extra bonus face that you would get in the deluxe one is just a smiling face. So she has both of her eyes open, or it's more of like a kind of like a mischievous kind of smile. Because she should have like the extra hands where her fingers are crossed, so she's like crossing her fingers and just smiling. So it's also pretty cool bonus one. So would maybe like to pick that up sometime in the future if someone's selling it separately. But the big part was just getting the figure. And yeah, the figure looks fine. Doesn't look like there's any major damages, any really marks or paint scraped off or anything like that. The main transfer was just over here on the hand, which it's hard to show it on the camera. There you go. And that was just from the knife being put in her hand. So that's kind of to be expected here. So here is the little knife. And yeah, so it's just some paint transfer from the handle of the knife, which is not that big of a deal because you're definitely not going to be seeing that when she's on display. But yeah, besides that, the figure looks fine to me. Kind of you can tell this is an older figure from the kind of materials that they're using here. It's a little bit different than the other figures in their Bishoujo line by Kotobukiya, but still looks good. Alright, so let's put the knife in. Alright, so knife popped in. It did take a little bit of force, so that was kind of scary because as you can see the arm moves a little bit there, so you have to be very careful not to break the arm or put too much force on pushing the knife in. But now the knife is in and it's pretty much there to stay, because that little edge or clip on the end of the knife there actually kind of like slots in perfectly on her finger, so it's snapped into place for the most part. But yeah, very cool, very good looking figure here, so very happy to add her to my collection. Again, collection is getting pretty close to complete for the horror line, at least for the current released horror figures, because I do already have, of course, the Beetlejuice, which I believe was the newest one that was been released, because I think the Leatherface is actually still on pre-order, or did it finally get released? I can't even remember. But anyway, this is Chucky, so all that's left to do is actually see her with the extra head on. So let's go ahead and swap those out and see what she looks like with her scarred up face there. Alright, there she is, looking a lot scarier now with that face. But still a pretty cool add-on here, and I do like that they included this, because of course that's classic kind of Chucky right there, with all the stitched up, or the stitches on the face there. Yeah, so that's going to be the video for Chucky here. Very happy to finally pick up this figure, as I've mentioned a few times. Got it for a price that I was very happy with. Yeah, not much else to say about that. I think the figure looks really good. It's a pretty light figure, so kind of not really the density that I'm used to seeing from Kotobukiya figures, and maybe a little less in terms of the quality of materials, but the actual paint and figure itself does look really good. So I'm very happy with the overall look of the figure. But that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.